I will go to a lot negative. I'm negative 17 right now, and I lose half my life total, which does nothing. What will they find? What will they have? Yeah, I'll let that resolve. That's fine. That's tough. I guess we'll be back whenever our opponent lets me out of jail. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing blue-white control once again. I am kind of reapproaching the deck list that we played previously and running it back because it did perform very well. We got out of a lot of spots. My dog is attacking me. But yeah, we got out of a lot of spots that I thought that we wouldn't get out of normally, especially playing some other decks that we were able to escape from. And we're going to try to do the same or just win outright. You know, that's always fun to do sometimes. But yeah, so we're going to break down the deck very quickly, talk about some things that are in the deck, as you probably saw some highlights already as I've been trying to do that in the front. Also, let me know if you don't mind. Do you like small little highlights in the front, even though sometimes it is a little bit of a spoiler? Or would you prefer to just wait till the games actually begin and then just watch them from the beginning? I personally like little spoilers, but that's me. I know a lot of people are different. Please let me know in the comments below. But outside of that, we're going to break this deck down very, very quickly. And it's divided in a couple of ways. Kind of cards that do what they do very well, and flex cards that can either do one thing really well or be used in another way. And that is no better than Elspeth Smite, just 3 damage to a target attacking creature. Get lost, blow up any target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. They make 2 maps, not on my watch. Exile target attacking creature. Does not specify tapped or untapped, so that's very important with a card like this. Oftentimes that clause is in there. We get to dodge it with that card. Soul Partition. This is a card that has a flex ability on it in a way. For example, we can exile a card our opponent controls, make it a bit more expensive, or we can target our Jace to Perfected Mind, milling down with Jace and then targeting it and recasting it. I did miss this in the last video. I tell you at least now, this is a bit of a spoiler. We catch it today, so don't you worry about it. Whoever made that comment, we did do it today just for you. So with that said, we have no more lights, just a hard counter spell that we are wanting to use. I guess this is a soft counter spell because it can pay out of it, but its only purpose is to counter something. We have 3 steps ahead and Spellgyre here as kind of a hard counter spell as well, but does have other applications in case things like Cavern of Souls or the spell is too cheap, etc., etc., or we just kind of need to find other action to hopefully get out of a bad spot. So this can make copies of a creature or draw 2 and discard a card. This can surveil 2 and draw 2 cards. The 3 steps ahead where it comes in most clutch, as you'll see maybe, and the fact that we can copy a Herald of the Eternal Dawn. So if our opponent even tries to remove this, we can counter that spell and then even make a copy of this and close the game incredibly quickly. Other than that, we have Think Twice. It's just a draw card. I prefer playing this over Deduce, Mono Black, or Golgari, and a lot of those decks are playing a lot of Duresses, a lot of Lilianas, a lot of kind of make you discard effects. So I do like being able to discard this and not lose the value like you slightly do with playing Deduce as a card. Also, there's an example where we surveil, and this is on top, and we put it in the graveyard because then we don't necessarily lose that card, and we effectively use our surveil to kind of draw 2, if you would. But other than that, we have 3 temporary lockdowns for the small creatures, 2 Day of Judgments to keep us alive until we get to 2 Sunfalls. And we want to slot our removal in between these spells and get what we can when we can. 2 Jace to Perfected Mind. I don't like playing 4 personally. I think that's too many copies when you're playing best of 1. And how aggressive it is, starting with 1 in the opener and then drawing 1 feels like you've already lost the game. Whereas keeping just 2, if that happens, like it's going to happen eventually, but it doesn't feel as bad because you know a 3rd one's not coming. But with that said, we play 1 Teferi because this guy can also close the game, and it can be an alternate win con when Jace isn't quite there. And we play Herald of the Eternal Dawn, where this card comes up incredibly clutch for us today, as I hopefully showed the highlight of that, so that's very cool. But with that said, we're going to dive into the games. Hope you all enjoy them. Hope everybody, I know we're a couple days out, but hopefully everybody's had a good New Year start and nobody's broken their New Year vows yet. Hopefully. Mine is to try to upload every single day of the new year. I missed it day 1. For those who know, no. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and play and see how well we can do. What is our hand, bro? 1 of, 2 of, 4 of, 3 of, stuff. I guess. We get to look and then we get to keep this up, so who really knows? Nah, I don't think we want to keep another one around. Even though it does technically maybe buy us time. Maybe we'll get the rest here. We'll hold up. We'll try to counter this Unholy Annex. And that's the same thing. Oh, I mean, I guess we could have Soul Partitioned it, right? Well, thankfully we draw an untap land. Soul Partitioning that would have worked because it would just stagger it behind. Then now like an Unholy Annex. I guess I'm gonna go for the Soul Partition this time around. Maybe they'll just kill their own creature. Okay, no cut down. There's not a pause at all, which tells us that. Now we do this. There's a get lost. Now the main thing that we're gonna run into issues with, I guess I'd take it just because it is a spell that I can use, is like Herald's good in a matchup like this, but they do play a lot of removal. I mean, Go for the Throw, it's kind of the only removal I guess that can kill it outside of 2 nowhere to runs. But we'll see. Shieldred to come down. I think we have to let that happen. Yeah. Draw. One of the weird cases where I think you just kind of have to rock with Shieldred for a few turns. Just let this life drain, gain, and happen for a bit, and then we have to get lost it, but we still have to stop an Unholy Annex. That's always the hardest part. Like, I'm even so willing to just take 4 here. A second unstoppable. Oh my, or a third. Well, we now know we can pop this Shieldred and not have a problem, I guess. They can activate a map on their slasher and mess up. I won't mind. Please hit a counter. Lucky them. So technically, if they activate a map and they put a counter on this unstoppable slasher, it will actually die permanently if it hits. But you know, never punished. Who cares? Who cares, man? Not me. Demolition Field. In turn here. What's up? We got, dude. Where are we? In the biz. Now that sucks. Do we blow up this land or do I counter draw? I think it's gotta be a counter draw. We're gonna have to find some other action here, I think. One of the best parts about Mono Black is not playing caverns very often, which is quite funny. We do find a way to exile that creature, which is cool. Temporary lockdown does what, nothing in this match, so honestly just get rid of that. We can't get rid of this right now. We're gonna take 8 damage this turn. 10 damage. Okay. Oh, and then we draw the Smite. Okay, very sick, very clean, very cool. We don't even have enough mana to cast this. I mean, we do, we just like don't at the same time, you know. Sure. Try to Smite here. And this will exile. Annex not seeming like it's on the chopping block for right now, but now that I brought it up, it'll draw it. So yeah, kudos me. Try to kill it. I am going to not on my watch it. I'll force them to use more and more removal, which means our Herald will most likely resolve. Gotta do what we gotta do, you know? What's up? Good demon for you. Then we have to somehow beat this, which I'm not entirely sure how we do. Yes, sir. Well. Next in turn. Then we get lost this here later. Sure. Pop this. Now, obviously, I don't know if they have like a ton of ways to remove this, but this is gonna have to be our bailout card here. They give me like no option. My real problem is if they have more removal. A little tough. And okay. Yeah, and there's a reason I don't like get lost that much, and I think why blue-white oftentimes finds itself in a really awkward spot to be in. Sure. Fine. It's not like fine. I don't feel great about it, but it is a thing that happened just now. Then we're going to have to play this Herald and just hope for probably the rest of the game that I can't die. And like these things I just have to let happen. We're going to activate this map on the slasher. Once again. Oh, Herald could be loose, I guess. Like maybe I'm supposed to just like go for the draw here. I mean, I guess realistically, it's supposed to be go for the draw. We have 40 cards left. 2 copies of Sunfall. Yeah, I guess so. We do get another draw with this, so it technically digs deeper. Okay. Alright, well, I mean, unconventional answers, but answers nevertheless. 3 mana, so I'd get a Plains back, and I would have 6 mana open. Alright. Let's lock it in. If they duress me before combat, I kind of have to just flash in the Herald and hope. Oh boy. Huh. What do we got here? Interesting to be waiting, but technically slasher hitting here, if it does get a counter, is lethal. Oh, Bloodletter on top. I would argue to keep it on top too. You know, it won't technically stay there. Dead regardless. I don't know. We're gonna try to ball out and do this, even though I think it's just super dead. I can't have a die to it, nowhere to run, if you're wondering why I didn't block. Sure. Interesting. So here's the thing. Bloodletter on top is actually not the worst for us. Like, it's one of the weird things where we kind of just have to let it happen. Because, like, Bloodletter doesn't do anything. Doesn't change the math here at all. It's going to be Anoint. Okay. Blue. Cast this. Again, our math's not changed. That's the thing that's really funny here. Because they play this doesn't mean we have to necessarily do anything. We're gonna try our best to win this game at super negative life total, which is going to be really funny. Oh yeah, play your bloodletter, sure, dude. We are doing what we need to do. Yes, sir. I will go to a lot negative. I'm negative 17 right now, and I lose half my life total. Which does nothing. Oh boy. Soul Partition. Okay. Cool. Now we got game actions to take. Here's my 6. Encounter whatever they draw here. Make a token copy of the Herald. And then we could Soul Partition whatever blocker they have in our way. Archfiend of the Dross. That's really funny. So, here, and here. Counter, we make a copy of the Herald. We refuse to lose this game. At negative 17, we win the game. Like, oh man, don't you just love Platinum Angel effects? You know what I mean? We'll run into the mirror. Who knows? A field. Might have to play his planes, pop their land, and call it a day. All right, thing enough. I don't care if they use their mana and do anything with it. Oh, it's combo. Body gen combo, sure. I'll play some amount of counter spells. Might see one here in the following turn, but we get rid of that. We need to go find our blue. Temporary lockdown, not going to do much for us. Sunfall will. Now they're like multicolored lands will be turned on, but the reason we blew that up is because they would get a basic and then they'd be turned on anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Sure. We hit a land, thankfully. Now we can actually like kind of work this game out. Moment of truth. This is one of the weird things where I think we have to let these go. They didn't reanimate anything, so it always feels weird to let this pass. But I think what I'd like to do, I don't know, is like counter the reanimate spell and then make them counter my counter and then we Sunfall them. Like, don't be surprised if we use this right here to just surveil 2 and draw a card. It shows pretty quickly. Matchup's going to always be kind of hard. Although, Hadigen, because they play bounce spells, it's going to make it even harder if we do the Herald thing. And there's a Monastery Mentor, which temporary lockdown can deal with a lot of that. But yeah, here again, I think it's just this for surveil 2, draw 2, because I want to dig as deep as possible here. And we're tapping out, so it's a little bit more of a like a target for a counter spell or an interaction spell. Maybe they go for something else now that I'm tapped out. I think 3 steps ahead. Sure. I don't know about 3 steps ahead, big dog, but you can do it. Normally they play the low to the ground one, the 2 mana one that has spree on it, like the blue and 1 counter unless we pay 2, which is kind of where I sit. But in situations like this, they will need a negate. They do not have it, but they could have the reanimate, which then will Sunfall, I guess. Maybe the blue being the main factor for some of our issues here. We'll play a surveil land. This is one of the best parts about Think Twice. We wanted to draw cards, but we'll just bin it, and then we basically draw it anyway. I know it's not like the best, because then if we would just wait, draw it, and then it would do 2 more. But if we're going to spend this 2 mana to do that, then we're wasting that 2 mana to do that, right? It's always a weird thing. Most likely, though, our opponent's going to bring out the Eye. It's a little bit better than Hadigen. It looks like they're casting it. Okay. There's going to be the weird thing where we'll probably just think twice here in the graveyard. And the reason for that is because of our mana tapped. Even if we draw 3 steps ahead, if we use the 2 mana one, we won't have double blue to actually do what we want. Like, we won't have double blue to counter it. As you can see, like, blue and then blue is required. They'll pass here. They're looking to protect it. I'm going to Day of Judgment it. Another Surveil land. Because Day of Judgment allows us to do it and hold up, like, the extra interaction. We can always go for Temporary Lockdown. We need this to not be like a hottie gen, probably. Let's Surveil here. Let's get our information. See how we want to kind of plot out this turn. Another land, but I'm going to let that go for now. We're going to see if they play the small one. Or if they have a second copy at 3 steps ahead. Then we just kind of have to hope to live here. They unsummon the ground creature. Which is a Charter Course. That's kind of a cool play. Like, by a kind of a cool play, that's a pretty sick play. I like that. That's a pretty sick thing. That's why you play Unsummon over into the Flood Maul, by the way, in a deck like this sometimes, because you want to be able to do that. Instead of, like, the opposite way where you kind of can't. But here we go. We got to think twice. They Charter Course. They get to draw 2, discard 1. They're almost halfway through their deck, and they haven't put a Reanimate spell in this deck. Although they did just put a lot of cards in their graveyard. They try to minimize the amount of, like, instant sorceries would be in there. But hopefully they just keep needing to cast this Eye the hard way. I know, I understand. It's a frustrating thing to have to do. But they bring back Hottigen. That's fine. By fine, like, I'm a little upset about it. But you're not going to see me say nothing. Well, this comes down. I mean, our Sunfall is kind of open. We have 2 blue. Fire this off. Elspeth Smite is like a arguably okay card. Fire this off. You need this to resolve. They unsummoned last turn, so they had to find a helping hand. All right. Similarly, I said they unsummoned last turn twice, essentially. And then if it was draw a helping hand to reanimate and find a counter spell, I'd be a little shocked. That'd be kind of a way to do it. But now, obviously, counter spell is open to find. A lot easier this way. Think twice. Trying our little best. All right. Well, we have a way to exile it and counter something, and we can draw. You think this might be a situation where our Herald might have to close the game in the hardest way, or our Teferi will have to do... Actually, Jace is really good in this matchup. I forgot about that. Getting the Jace kind of mill them for 15, if we can kind of, like, do it pretty rapidly. Like to target here. Please do not bounce it for the 3rd time. Alright. Do we counter this and draw? Can we afford to counter that and draw? Cast it. They'll still have the mana for it. I'm going for it. Okay. It resolved immediately. Get one of these temporary lockdowns out of my hand, please. It is, like, only good at getting rid of this stupid eyeball. And if they cast the eyeball, we're pretty happy about it, because then that takes away a lot of stuff. Obviously, we don't have a counter spell here, but you know, it is what it is. Before they get to look, I guess I should go ahead. No, we make them choose first, thinking that maybe this will live. Even if they put like a counter spell down, or like a creature down there, it's not like they could do anything about it. Full scale Jace here. Don't think I'm looking to activate this at all. Yeah, it's fine. Done. Plus here. We know what our plan is, and then we're going to pop this eyeball in the weirdest way to say that I feel ever. I'm gonna pop your eyeball. Sorry, I didn't realize we were in a Saul movie. Map? Sure. Map seems like a desperation play. Founding the 3rd path, pretty good card. We leave that on top, though. We will. Okay. I mean, I get to counter. can chump block here, I guess. They're like going to try to kill my Jace. Because I can go for the Soul Partition win here. Have to hope they have nothing. Of course, they get the Founding, sure. It's a very good chance that they go pretty low on cards here, and we can just win. A good chance, I'm pretty sure. Now, if they just pass, it's going to be a different story. Unless they eyeball and have to play Founding, and I think we get everything covered. It looks like they're trying to exile. Maybe they're thinking about what to do with Founding. But yeah, I mean, nothing would make us happier than them tapping out right now. You're Founding what mode? Make cast an instant or sorcery mode. Okay. So then there are other modes mill, right? Like they can't really step through that. Just mill over down to 12.
And your entire mind unravels.
Soul Partition here.
Noise.
That was the weirdest noise I ever heard. Did we just do it for the full barrel here?
I will keep watch.
Don't worry. Somebody commented that I missed this last game. The last session. And for safety. I did miss it because I forgot you could Soul Partition your own card and replay it like that and do that. That's why I like knew that going in. And that's why I didn't understand why like the control decks were like, we're playing 4 Jaces. I was like, I'd rather cut it and play Soul Partition and just have more removal and then do the Jaces, especially in best of one. But regardless, we get there. Very cool. We move on. Yeah, I guess I can keep. What is this end? Why does this keep happening? I mean, I guess we'll just go to 6 for free, dude. Oh, they went to 6 too, so Arena hates us both. All right, I'm ready, opponent. Are you? You're at 6. I'm at 6, but I get to draw a card. You're mono white. I'm throwing up. Are you Boros? Oh, okay. All right, we're fine. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching the SCG Con Atlanta, and don't take this wrong in any way. The broadcast was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. But man, did I not agree with the casters any more than when they said, "Wow, can we speed this match up?" Because it was mono white token control, and it felt like it was going forever. Oh man, it was wild. They went to time and everything, which that's obviously not everything, but at the end of the day, it felt like it. They've only played like 1 creature, so I'm gonna counter this. Like they've just played lands pass, so like I don't think that they've been holding anything. Like they haven't been holding like 2 creatures. Sometimes you'll see them do that just so they can hold 2 creatures over and over. I'm gonna make a little fish, dude. I might sack this fish to draw a card. Oh, we're gaming now. We're ready. It's the alpha strike. It's the 20 turn clock. It's the if they sheltered, it makes it incredibly more turn clock. Now we got stuff, dude. What do you got, bro? Now the main problem actually is that we're running out of kind of cards. Obviously, I think they missed the land, correct? I'm pretty positive they missed the land. So here I'm actually going to deck in here, I believe. And the main reason to do this is so I have like a slightly less chance to draw a land. It's not great, but it's still less of a chance, right? It's the small little percentages that sometimes you have to take advantage of when you're in a situation like this. Because we could definitely lose this game still. They play 1 creature. We end up drawing slightly bad. No More Lies is not even a counter spell at this point. Think twice. Pretty good card to find. So Soul Partition will have to happen. And if they are a 1-mana creature spell, if it's a 1-mana creature spell, I try to Soul Partition it. They can then protect it. No More Lies they can pay for. but they hit another land. What will they find? What will they have? Yeah, I'll let that resolve. That's fine. That's tough. I'm sorry, opponent. This is tough. Oh man. Honestly, you know, Zach, that's her name on here. I love you, bro. That's so sick. Taking it like a champ, understanding the variance of the game, just kind of being like, hey man, you know, those 1/1 fish, they've worked an awful lot to splash out of that water. Let's suit them up. Let's give them some ethereal armor. Let's call it a day. Remember that game that I was talking about? Like, I like to play Soul Partition so I don't have to have 4 Jaces in my deck. But it doesn't matter if I start with my 2 copies and my 1-of copy in my opening hand. Yeah, we're going to mulligan that hand. And we're going to keep this hand. We're going to throw back a single copy of Think Twice. We're going to hope that this is enough to not die. That's an island. We're dead. Hey, back to big old Teferi. Spectral Sailor. Okay, temporary lockdown can be good. Ooh, black, so it's the mere Kaido nonsense. Sure. We'll run this down. We'll try to Soul Partition their creature or a Fairy Mastermind or something. They try to go to combat here. Do this. Force them to interact. Honestly, if I'm them, I'm probably just letting the Soul Partition go. Even if they do have interaction, it's just like not worth it, really. Didn't they go first? They missed a land. I think they went first. No counterspell here, unfortunately enough. So there's a Drowner. Yeah. We'll see. Oh. I guess I didn't even have to Soul Partition, right? Because, like, they didn't play the 3rd land to ninjutsu in a card. Alright, well, there's a way to exile that creature. Let's play a Fountainport. We already have a demo field in play. Don't really need to freak out about anything. Then I can go to exile it. Alright, well, I don't have to do anything. Oh, boy. Do I have to keep mulling every hand? Or can we risk this one, you think? I guess with a demo field, we can try. Alright, well, thankfully, demo field is active. Mono red makes demo field not active pretty often. I think twice off the top is actually pretty good. A great land to draw. Let's just play this down. Representing a little bit. It's Rakdos. Maybe Sacrifice. Could be a Braids or something. Nothing so far. There's a Sunfall. There's a No More Lies. There's a demo field from us. We're at max capacity. Just feeling it. They're like, you know what? Do nothing. They're probably a hand full of removal, by the way. That's probably why they didn't. Nothing. But yeah, we counter that. This time, if they go for a pact, we can then demo field and then get lost something. Like get lost a pack. We get the value out of the No More Lies then and there. I guess I'll allow it. We have to do this on instep because the last thing I want is for them to be able to duress me afterward. Pop this. We're going to go grab a blue source. You have some white. Sunfall and things aren't going to be necessary. Temporary lockdown probably not necessary. We go grab a blue. I don't remember if I said blue or white, but we're grabbing a blue here. Then we're going to get lost that second demonic pack. And then now we have a Think Twice. I'm not risking trying to hit a land here. I'd much rather hold up counter spells to consistently answer the 3rd copy of demonic pack, because now they have something to sack with Beseech Tamir. Beseech Tamir does also cast, right? Let me read you. Library, exile it face down, and shuffle the spell and bargain. You may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. Okay, so it does get cast. Therefore, we allow this. We hope they go grab another demonic pack instead of like the rest to interact. And they do. And then we get to counter that spell again. That is 3 turns in a row that we have dealt with the demonic pack. They are running out of copies. I'm sorry, bruh. Okay. It's alright, man. Yeah, I'll send you love, dude. You want some love? It's okay, bro. I can be petty, too. I guess we'll be back whenever our opponent lets me out of jail. Alright, well, Arena let me out of jail. And I don't really... I could go for Plat 1. But I think I'm going to call it there for right now. Every time I get to there, I like do it, and then I lose, and then I feel like I got to get it back, and then it's a whole mess. But yeah, with that said, we ran control again, and it felt great again. I'm so happy for one thing specifically. It's the fact that this actually won a game today. Now, you could argue, well, if it was something else, maybe it would have won. And I'm not entirely sure, because the thing is, with what they had, like, not only did we get to play this and, like, prevent us from losing the game, but we also then got to hit them to death with it. Because the problem is, so say we answered that board, what did we do about the Bloodletter of Aklazos they played the following turn? Probably nothing. Because what would this be? Another copy of Day of Judgment, Temporary, or Sunfall, maybe? Maybe an extra copy of Teferi? And I just don't think that gets us there, right? Like, if we played a Teferi, we put a token in the way, and then we died. But where we got to play this and actually use it was so sick. I'm so happy about it. Again, if you're not sold on it, cut it for, like, any other card in the deck. You'll probably be fine in most cases. I'm just personally happy that we got the Herald to win us a game, because that's super sick. And they were less upset about it than our opponent. We just countered the demonic pack. But with that said, I mean, it felt good. I think we found kind of a good balance. I've tried a couple of other lists, and they just haven't come out quite the way I've wanted them to. I did put a Smite in, which is kind of a, like, laughable change. You're like, oh, wow, you changed one card in the deck. Yeah, sometimes that's just how it is. I mean, we ran really well last time. I think we only lost one match overall. And I think I maybe lost one match on this. Actually, no. I only lost playing the other blue-white controls. I don't think I lost a match with this today. Maybe I did. I'm not sure. I actually don't remember. One of those things, our games actually went fast today in comparison to last time, where it was like 3 games in 45 minutes. We actually got like 4 or 5 games, I think. With that said, it felt good. I liked it. The cut was one Teferi for an Elspeth Smite, if you're curious. I do think this card is pretty good. I like it a lot, but I do think it can kind of close the game pretty quickly if it's just like we use it a little bit more valuably, or we use it a little more cautiously. My English is not that great at 2 in the morning, so it's a little tough sometimes, you know. I was only born and raised here, so why would I know how to speak English well? But with that said, this is what I'm playing if I'm playing blue-white for right now. I understand there's a lot of other lists out there. Pretty hard to find a balance. The balance you have to find is going to be within your own meta that you play against. So do take that into account. What I'm playing here might not work for you, because you might play at a different time of day than I play. That it has kind of a more aggressive meta, or more control-based meta, or maybe you're more combo meta. Because, like, one of the things that I saw people playing was Authority of the Councils. I feel like this card is only a temporary solution. This is kind of also a combo stopper, for example. But I'm not sold that I love this card in this deck, because I feel like this is such a dead draw. Because in control right now, I think the way you have to play it is most cards have to do, like, 1 or 2 or even 3 things, and do one thing pretty well. For example, like 3 steps ahead, really good counterspell. It is a good cancel, but it does 2 other things in her deck. Spellgyre does a thing, really good counterspell, but can also surveil 2 and draw 2 cards. But if you are playing a card that doesn't do much, it has to be very good at what it does. And I would argue like Temporary Lockdown's a good example of that. This card, if your opponent's playing mono black, most likely it's never hitting anything. But this card absolutely crushes Jeskai Convoke and mono red a lot of times. So it's like a weird thing where you kind of have to balance that out. With that said, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.